night, the bloody scene which greeted police officers when they arrived at Oscar Pistorius' house. And the Olympian is again left in extreme physical distress after graphic pictures of his shot girlfriend are accidentally shown during the hearing. Good evening from North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria, where a senior police officer has told how he followed a trail of blood through the home of Oscar Pistorius to the bathroom where Reeva Steenkamp was shot. Colonel Shombi van Rensburg described how he arrived at the scene in the early hours of Valentine's Day last year. So graphic were the photos seen by the court that an emotional Pistorius broke down and vomited. He denies the premeditated murder of his 29-year-old girlfriend. A warning that Paul Harrison's report contains pictures that some viewers may find distressing.
Such is the interest in the trial of Oscar Pistorius. There's often as much focus placed on the accused and his demeanour as there is on the evidence itself.
What is it that you see?
I see supposedly the prosthesis legs of Mr. Pistorius wearing socks with blood on the legs.
Bloody images, such as this one of the prostheses worn by the Olympian on the night of the shooting, are by now commonplace.
Your second proposition was, of course it could have happened that mark could have been imprinted on that panel by the prosthetic foot in him stumbling on it and causing the mark.
That's correct, my lady.
But of course we have now photo 120 that we can look at again. So when you stumble on the plank, it would be on the reverse side or the back side.
This one was on the front side, so it's facing the floor in this photograph.
But unwittingly, the court was today twice shown graphic images of Reeva Steenkamp's body. Oscar Pistorius' reaction can first be heard.
It's this little piece down here.
He then visibly retches as he hides from the grim images shown to the court. He's then passed a bucket. A change of witness, one of the first policemen to the scene of the shooting, but with him no let-up in the nature and, significantly, the volume of the grisly pictures and testimonies. But, in part, due to Oscar Pistorius' earlier reaction to the macabre images, photographs of his dead girlfriend, Reeva Steenkamp, would not be shown in court.
The next witness will deal with the scene of crime. We have taken out of the presentation that would be screened all images depicting the body of the deceased.
Daar was ook bloed sigbaar by die liggaam.
There was a body lying down.
Giving evidence largely through a translator, Colonel Shombi van Rensburg described the injuries Reeva Steenkamp appeared to have suffered.
There was a head wound. There was a wound on the right-hand side of the waist. There was a wound on the right arm and also on the left arm, on the left hand.
The witness said he'd been told by the daughter of the estate manager where Pistorius lived that the Olympian had wanted to use his car to take Reeva Steenkamp to hospital, but had been advised to wait for an ambulance.
She also asked Mr. Pistorius, as she told me, to get something else also to stop the bleeding. She and Mr. Pistorius together, they tried to stop the bleeding. She also further explained to me that when they arrived on the scene, Mr. Pistorius said to them that he thought that the deceased was an intruder.
By this stage, Oscar Pistorius had already carried his girlfriend from the bathroom where he claims he shot her unwittingly through his bedroom and down the stairs to the ground floor. And so, with the help of a series of crime scene photographs, Colonel van Rensburg helped the court understand the route he took, tracing the trail of blood back up to the bathroom.
We then followed the trail of blood up the stairs.
Let us just deal with that. The album you have in front of you, that's Exhibit F. Open it up at the first photograph, that's photograph number 2. Enter through the main door, and you look to your right, you'll see the garage door.
Yes, that is the wooden door that you see there. On the left-hand side of the wooden door, it's a small sitting room.
So one can see it on photograph 3, just left of the door. This is just a close-up of that area. Is that correct?
That is correct, my lady.
And on photograph 6, it's one of the chairs in that specific area, am I correct?
That is correct, my lady.
Is there anything significant on that photograph?
On the photograph are 2 spots there, and that would be of blood
On the chair.
On the chair.
of the stool on the chair.
This is another chair in that specific area on photograph 7.
Yes, that is correct. This chair was on the left-hand side of the other chair that was shown previously. There were several blood spots, as you can see also there on the tiles.
And on the chair as well, those spots one can see there.
That's correct.
That is correct.
And you dealt with photograph 10, those were blood spots on the tile floor.
That is correct, Melly.
Photograph 11.
Wat opgaan na die volgende vloer.
That is the bottom part of the stairs. The body of the deceased lay on the left-hand side of those stairs, as on the photograph.
And that would be more clear on photograph 12.
That is the pillar, and just below that pillar, this is where the deceased was laying. This is the beginning of the stairs, the first set of stairs going up.
And the spots one can see there on the photograph?
Dit is die deel van die bloedspoor wat ons gevolg het.
This is part of the blood trail that we were following.
Those are on the stairs going up, the close-up of the blood.
Dis korrek.
That is correct, my lady.
The same with photo 16.
Dit's die.
You can see the railing there on the right-hand corner,
That is correct.
where the
my
circle
lady.
is now.
Ja.
Van Rensburg, who arrived at the scene less than an hour after the shooting, then described seeing blood spattered on the walls of the staircase leading up to the first floor.
If you're coming down, it will be on the right-hand side, but if you're standing going up with the stairs, this is in the wall on the left-hand side.
And what is that?
Hier dis ook bloed. Dis deel van die bloedspoor wat ons
This is
volg,
also blood, part of the blood trail that we are following.
wat
This is
opgaan.
the same wall. It is painted here, but you can also see it is also next to the stairs.
Although we're looking at photographs, can you still remember it?
Yes, I can remember, my lady.
In one photograph, you can see the shelf of trophies won by the athlete over many years.
This is when you get to the first floor. This is where the floor begins. You will also notice just towards that wooden door, there are also blood spots. When you stand on top of the stairs and you would look down as you would have come up.
Stand at the exact same spot and you look to your straight ahead. That is the view you'll have in photo 27.
That is correct, my lady.
In the photograph, a cupboard there in the right hand side. Can you see it there? Where the circle is now?
This is where the witness, Mrs. Stander, showed to us the place where she took the towels from.
One's now looking past the linen cabinet or the towel cabinet further on. And one can see a door. Is that a door?
That is the door to the sleeping area. Daar is nog.
It's a spare room. It's a door to a spare room. One can see it on this photograph, the spots on the tile floor. Can you identify that?
That is correct, my lady.
What are those?
Die bloedspoor wat ons gevolg.
The blood trails that we were following.
If we go to 33, what is that?
That is a small sitting room right at the entrance of the main bedroom. If you want to enter into the main bedroom, you would have to pass that cupboard and then move towards the right.
If you look towards your left, the view would be what one can see at photograph 34.
That is correct, my lady. This is the entrance into the main bedroom.
And the spots one can see there on the
Dis
tiles.
deel van die bloedspoor wat daar was.
That's part of the blood trail that was there. The wall on the back of
Dis reg.
the unit which on top of which there is a hypha.
38 indicates blood spatter on the floor.
That is correct. That's after the entrance into the main bedroom.
So that's a door to the main bedroom. And The black object one can see there.
It is a Winbeck's air gun.
There's a photograph of a door with damage to it. You know where that is?
That is a hole through the door,
Through the main bedroom door.
main bedroom door.
Photograph 46 deal with damage to the main bedroom door. Did you see that?
No, I did not pick that up.
51 is a close-up of the cabinet with the sunglasses in it. And 52, one can see the air gun. And what's next to it?
Die brille wat daarin was en
And,
die slag
and the
gesonder.
blue object next to the air gun?
You see the bat, the golfball bat, blue golfball
On
bat.
52,
Baseball
it's
bat.
a baseball bat.
Baseball bat.
Coming up, the court has shown the bloody scene at the bathroom where Reeva Steenkamp was shot dead, and the police colonel tells how Pistorius' gun was found on the floor, ready to fire. Welcome back to Pretoria and the continuing trial of Oscar Pistorius for the murder of his girlfriend. The day's evidence has been dominated by Colonel Schkombi's van Rensburg's testimony of the scene, which officers discovered at the Pistorius house. Using a series of, at times, graphic photographs, the judge, her two assessors and the rest of the court were guided up the stairs and into the bedroom.
Since I arrived, vandat ek gearriveer het op die toneel, die edele,
After I had arrived on the scene, my lady,
until I went up with and nobody else entered that scene.
Behind the fan, there's a door.
Dis correct.
When you got to the scene, was that door open or closed?
the door was open, my lady. The curtain were drawn open as they were there. They were not closed.
What's the grey object on the floor in front of the fan?
The second one is a duvet, the big one.
The first one?
Die eerste een is 'n broek, 'n denim broek.
And the first one, it's a denim trouser.
Can you remember that view?
Yes, that would be on the right-hand side of the bed, as you would be standing in front of it.
Does that look familiar?
That is the magazine and the holster, and with bullets, this which we found on the right-hand side.
Ingang van die hoofslaapkamer.
That would be nearer to where the fan was.
And there, on the left-hand side, is a fan.
Dis reg hier.
That is correct, my lady.
It was not plugged in anyway.
Dis
That is correct, my lady. They were not switched on. That also goes for the other fan that was in photo, the other photo.
Did you see
Ja,
it?
there were cell phones there. There were cell phones was there, but I didn't concentrate on that cell phones.
But did you see it or not?
No, I didn't.
didn't see it? Okay,
Actually,
fine.
didn't see it. Die plakkies aan die linkerkant van die bed wat bymekaar gestaan het.
What I specifically remember there, it is the sandals
As ook die
which were placed together, and there is also an overnight bag that is also on the bench on the left.
There's a holster. Did you see that holster?
Yes, it was lying there against the wall between the lamp and the head of the bed. That would be on the left side.
The court were then shown pictures of the corridor leading to the bathroom, as well as the bathroom itself, where Pistorius fired his gun on that Valentine's Day morning.
The wardrobes there, that would be the clothing wardrobes that leads into the bathroom. That would be the passage between the clothing cupboards on both sides. And when we get to the wall, you turn right into the bathroom. That is the first cartridge or empty cartridge that you would see there. After you have turned right there at the wall, that would be the entrance into the bathroom. First tile, as you approach, there's a blood spot, and also on the left side against the wall, there are also blood spots.
And the cartridge case at the left, where the circle is now.
That is correct, my lady.
That red bag there, did you see that the day of the incident? The bag on the bath, as well as the splinters of wood on the floor?
That is correct. Those are the first pieces when you come into the bathroom. As you approach on the right-hand side, that would be the bath area, and in front you would see the bath, and also the towels that are there. In between the towels and the wall, there was also an empty cartridge. That where the wood is, you would count the third tile, just against the bath. There is an empty cartridge there. That is the photo of the bath, which was on the left-hand side, on the left-hand corner, and inside the bath, blood spots and a piece of wood. If you would have turned to your right, where it's shown on photo 88, this is where you would come up in photo 98. The small blood spots that you would see on the sides of that basin. This is the cricket bat which we found in front of the basin on the floor, with the towels and the blood that was there, and the bullet cartridge between the towel and the cricket bat.
Just for orientation, those are the same towels that one can see on photograph 88. The firearm that you can see there, is that the position that you saw that firearm for the first time?
Dit is die posisie hier.
That is the position, my lady.
It's
on
cocked.
the photo as it is there, it is still cocked.
And the hammer is back.
The hammer is back.
What can we see on the left-hand side of the photograph, just above the blood?
These are two cell phones.
But you're saying that firearm, as it's lying there, it's ready to fire.
It's ready to fire. Just have to pull the trigger.
That's a door to the toilet.
The window,
die
which
badkamer.
was open at the bathroom. There were no butler proving, nothing on it. That is the surface of the tiles, the entry into the bathroom to the toilet. On the left-hand side next to the bath, that would be the panel that fell from the door.
On which side of the door would that key have been?
On the bathroom side, not on the inside of the toilet side.
That's now the entrance to the toilet. The magazine rack and everything as one can see it there is how you found the scene.
Dit is reg, Ede.
That is correct, my lady.
So a day of particularly graphic evidence which at times left Pistorius and Reeva Steenkamp's friends in obvious distress. Well, joining me now to discuss the day's courtroom testimony is Tians Brits, who's a former forensic specialist with the South African Police Service, and Ait Motlong, who's an attorney, and you have on occasion acted as a judge. Thank you for joining us. Well, Ait Motlong, what's your judgment about how the two lawyers are doing at the moment? Who's coming out on top? Still very early days, obviously, and we're just hearing the state's witnesses being called, but what's your view about how it's going?
I'm also just watching with keen interest. But let me tell you what I think. It's a whole maze, but I think there's a common thread that shines through the whole maze. Most of it, I suspect, finally will be thrown by the wayside. A few things are common cause. There's no doubt that Oscar says he fired the 4 shots. In my view and my understanding of even the plea by the defense, there's no question about the fact that Oscar intended to kill. The question is, did he intend to kill the intruder or did he intend to kill Reeva? So there's no question about the intention. And in our law, there's a clear distinction between the intention to kill, which ordinarily would amount to murder, and then the motive is something else. It's like if I shoot you in self-defense, there's no question about me intending to shoot and kill you, but the motive being self-defense. And the problem with self-defense is that it's not a subjective test. The court will have to look at your conduct, all circumstances taken into account, and see whether you acted like a reasonable person. Because the law expects it of you. Whether subjectively you get scared too quickly and easy to rush to your gun, is not the test. The test is whether, what is it in our law? What kind of conduct is expected of someone who feels, say, under attack, and is armed like Oscar was. That would be the question that finally will have to be determined. Because even if it turned out to have been an intruder, and he intended to shoot and kill the intruder, if the court finds that on all circumstances or facts, evidence presented, there was no reasonable basis to suspect that he was in danger. Like I'm sure we must all now accept, he couldn't see beyond the door that had been closed. We're not sure whether he heard any sounds, and if so, we know that Reeva was not armed, amongst others, and we know there was no intruder there. Now the question is, on what basis did he fire those 4 shots? And if you look at where they were fired, there's no question about the intention to kill. So I'm saying, even if it turned out to have been an intruder, in our law, if I find an intruder in my house, I can't summarily execute him.
Okay, but say you're defending him.
Yes.
You're the man who's got to defend him.
Yeah.
How are you going to do that?
If I was to defend him, I suspect I would have chosen a different course.
What would that be?
I would have been more inclined to plead guilty, tell the truth about what happened, and if there was an argument and things like those, hopefully say, and I suspect maybe that could well have happened. It's one of the many options. Something should have triggered whatever happened, whether you believe Oscar or you don't. And then fight the full battle. I think I would have fought a full battle on sentence rather than on the merits.
He may be very grateful you're not his lawyer in that case, because he's denying everything, and he says there was no argument, they were in a loving relationship, and he's obviously pressing ahead to prove his innocence. Tian Spritz, tell me, as an investigator, what were the key things? Say you had to name 2 key things from the pictures that you saw today. What are the 2 key things that you would seize on at this stage?
Well, obviously the doors is very prominent in this case, and I think the blood spatter that was also shown today. I know there was pictures shown of splatter or drops of blood on furniture that seems to be not in the same position, not the same position, but out of way of the normal where they said she was carried from down the stairs. I would, document those and get the blood tested and find out, is it Reeva's blood or is it somebody else's blood?
You'd want to hear a lot more about that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, both of you, for your views. I'm sure we'll be hearing more about it tomorrow when Barry Roux gets into the chair and takes on the police investigator. That's it for today, though. Remember, we'll bring you continuing coverage of the trial on Sky News from 7:30 in the morning, as well as on Twitter, Sky News for iPad and Sky News for smartphone, where you can see the full and continuous live transcripts of the court proceedings, and of course our special roundup programme at 9:30 every night.